lesson number 7. In lesson number 6, we learned about ICT in instrumentation. Lesson number 7 is on ICT and data analysis. I have no doubt that you enjoyed lesson number 6. Lesson number 7, by the way, I'm reaching you again. I had to come back to Nehru Place in Delhi, where I'm tidying up a few things with our publishers, Sterling Publishers, and I took the opportunity to take 1 or 2 programs in cyber security and artificial intelligence, to bring myself up to speed on these 2 issues, cyber security and artificial intelligence. In this lesson, we're going to look about instrumentation, how we use ICT, in data analysis. And that's the heart of the matter, because you may have a calculator. The calculator is ICT for calculating the data from your questioning or from the instruments that you have used. But it's going to be more interesting than that. So let's get back to class. Yeah, so welcome back to class, and where we'll, as I said in the introduction, this lesson 7 is on ICT in data analysis in doctoral studies. So what are we going to be doing in this lesson? We're going to be doing 5 things. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to state the importance of data analysis in your doctoral study. You should be able to list types of data analysis and be able to describe the role of ICT in data analysis. The 4th thing you should be able to do, we will do it together. We're going to review the proposals for data analysis that all the students in the course, sent. And then the heart of the matter, you can see I've highlighted it in yellow here. We're going to go through very interesting practical exercise to let you develop practical skills in using ICT for data analysis. But before we begin, let me let you know, I'm sure just by way of reminder, that many doctoral students are very afraid of data analysis. Title, no problem. Literature review, no problem. The methods other than data analysis, no problem. But when it comes to data analysis, many of them are afraid. Actually, there's a word here, mathophobia. Phobia is fear. Mathematics. So fear of mathematics. Fear of figures. When some people see figures, they just run away. That is why if you look at the number of students who are studying biology relative to physics, relative to chemistry in the secondary school system, you find that many will study biology because you have less mathematics in biology. Now, but why is this so? Let's try to trace some of the historical roots of fear of mathematics. Some studies that I've conducted over the years have shown that the fear of mathematics is largely caused by very poor mathematics teachers. At the primary school, at the secondary school level, we have very many poor mathematics teachers. I'm talking about Nigeria. I'm sure the same is true of Burundi, of Kenya, of many other countries like that. Very poor math teachers. Because many of these teachers do not know the subject. They don't know the math they are teaching. So what they do is just to bluff their way through. And at a very early age, in primary school, the students are scared, the pupils, the children are scared of mathematics. And they are told by the teacher, no, it's only the very gifted people that can do well in mathematics. But those are lies. Lies and lies. Because maths can be made easy and can be made fun. Indeed, what I and 2 of my colleagues who are facilitating this course do is to teach advanced statistics to the primary school kids in our university staff school. A primary school, 8, 9, 10 year old children, and they enjoy it. We teach them advanced statistics, not percentages, t-tests and all that, but advanced statistics, and they enjoy it. So I'd like you to note that this course, I'm not going to teach you, nor any of the facilitators facilitate statistics. It is not about statistics. You have a separate course on statistics
that you will take, or maybe you are even taking now during the course of your doctoral studies. But I want to let you know that you don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of statistics. Don't be worried about the data analysis part of your doctoral studies. Data analysis is not, because data analysis is not only about figures, not only about figures. It can be qualitative. We learned in the virtual class held yesterday, Emanuela Ahishakiye, who is, is studying study is using discourse markers, and data analysis is not only about complicated formulae for calculating multivariate analysis of variance. No, it can be as simple as percentages and as graphs that many of you will go to see this in a minute, say they are going to use. So don't be afraid. But if you require advanced statistics, you can ask the experts for help. But my honest advice? My honest advice is that you can be an expert yourself. Now, you can try to depend on others for a little while, but not for long. So what should you do? You should enroll for courses to build your capacity in advanced statistics and turn yourself into an expert. I'm not an expert, but I tell you what I did. When I was doing my postgraduate studies at the University of Ibadan, although I was doing courses in science, I was doing courses, I was doing some biology courses, I was doing some courses in education. I had to go to the Department of Statistics to take advanced master's degree courses in statistics. Actually, when I got there, they said, "What is this man doing here?" I said, "My friend, just leave me. I'm not troubling you. I just want to." And I sat through the courses and I did well in those courses. So you should invest in training yourself, because as a scholar, you will need advanced statistics, these statistics on the long run. And you don't have to be knocking on the doors of people all the time. But if you're interested in some of my online lessons on advanced statistics, what should you do? Just Google and then put the statistic that you want, but mostly advanced statistics that I've put some videos online on. And they put my name there, and then select video. Okay, so how does it work? Let me give you a demonstration of it. Yeah, so I asked you to Google, so let's go to Google. Okay, I asked you to just type the advanced statistic that you want. Let's assume that you want to learn about multivariate analysis of variance. That's MANOVA for short. MANOVA. I said you type this, and then type my name, Peter Okebukola, and then select video. Okay, fine. So let's get it. So this is video. You select video. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. You select video. So these are two of my my videos on multivariate analysis of variance. I also have multivariate analysis of covariance. This runs for 33 minutes. Let's try another one. It's a very high-end, very difficult to understand analysis. It's called the analysis of moment structures, AMOS, or AMOS for short. Let's look for it. So you can see this. You can, okay, videos. Let me go on to videos. Just select videos. So you can see this using SPSS AMOS for path analysis. I uploaded this, if you can see here, April 22nd, 2013. That's about 6 years ago. Let me open it on this. Yeah, let's even see how it is. Okay, fine. So I'd like you to see some comments that I've received on this video. Let me see now. Okay, if you look at Leon Bakata 4 years ago, Leon said it is almost the only video about path analysis online, and it is from Africa. Good job. Well done, Peter. Thank you very much. Great. I'm doing path analysis for my dissertation research, and this was helpful. Thank you. Please, do you have future lessons. Thank you for this Shaikh Basha 4 years ago. Thank you for very thank you very for presenting the content in lucid way. Please add more videos on Amos usage. You can see there are several of these that we have received. Yeah, I recall that during our last virtual class, Fred Awa from Ghana talked about Chromebox Alpha. That's an interesting Chromebox Alpha reliability for questionnaires. Yep, let's see. So you can see how to improve reliability, Chromebox Alpha reliability. I uploaded it in 2013 also. So you can see some of my. Now let me see what comments I've received from this. Yeah, you can see some of the comments that I've received. Clear. This is 4 years ago. Clear and concise presentation. Well done. This is very good lecture. Thank you so much, sir. Such as and all of that. Tahir Abbas 2 years ago. Okay, that's fine. Great and very informative lecture. You are an awesome teacher. Great job. Thank you. Good lesson with bad video quality. Well, what can I do? Thank you so very much for this lecture. It's very clear, very good lecture. So that's all. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I'm not going to be teaching you any advanced statistics in this lesson. So you can check out a few videos that I have online. Actually, not a few. I have almost like 40 different videos on advanced statistics. Now, let's get back to the lesson. Now, our objective number one is for us to state the importance of data analysis in doctoral studies. I'm going to be moving rather fast during this lesson because you may not be able to catch up with my speed. I will encourage you to do the following things. Pause the video anytime and play back. Or download the video and over time go through at your own pace. So back to objective number one, the importance of data analysis in doctoral studies. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you are telling me and us in the class that it helps you to make meaning from your data. So you use an instrument to collect plenty data, and then if you don't analyze it, it's meaningless. So the second thing is that it provides answers to your research questions. You ask a research question, and then the analysis will help you to answer those questions. We're moving on now to objective number two, for us to list the types of data analysis. So, dear class, how many types do you think we have? 20, 10, 1, 2? Okay, for the purpose of this lesson, I've aggregated all of them into two. Quantitative data analysis, which will involve figures. And I said to you, don't be scared of figures. The other is qualitative. And these largely do not involve figures. They are like narratives, documentary analysis that do not involve calculations. Now, we're going on. Objective number three. Recall that we have 5 objectives. We're already number 3. By the way, I'm going to spend more time on number 5 for the practical. So, describe the role of ICT in data analysis. So, what role will ICT have in data analysis? Now, if you have, as I mentioned during the introduction, even if you took a calculator and you are using it to do percentage or square root or whatever, that is still ICT. So without that ICT, your data analysis will not happen. So what do I have here? Yeah, ICT provides us the tools for data analysis. For instance, software like SPSS, SCSF, there are several of them. And ICT also ensures that data that we collect through scientific instruments are stored in a retrieval system for analysis. Objective number 4. We are to review the proposals that you sent to me earlier on how you are going to analyze your data. So let's review the proposals together. Yeah, so this is what I've summarized what is sent to me, proposed data analysis procedures by members of our grade class. Now, Nkuruziza Menus is going to do simulations. Ramadani Yandwi, my good friend, by the way, you are all my good friends and great students. But Ramadan will always reply very, very quickly. Also, Richard. Yeah, the two of them. Yeah, Richard Daishimiye. These two people will respond, to my mails very, very quickly. So, what does Ramadan wants to do? He wants to analyze with chi-square or ANOVA. And then Richard Daishimiye will do percentage, will do chi-square. Second, Ntihari Rizwa, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation of your name. Please pardon me. It's going to do qualitative. Emanuela that I mentioned, it's double, I'm sorry there. Ahisha Kiye doesn't even know yet, but he's going to do discourse markers, and that's more like qualitative, and it has some sprinkle of quantitative there. So, Pacific Batungwanayo is doing ANOVA, correlation analysis, and all of that. Peter Esther, chi-square. I'm not going to go through everything, but have you seen a pattern? Oh, yes, maybe you have. The ones with quantitative, I told you there are two, qualitative and quantitative. For the quantitative, I've highlighted in yellow, quantitative, chi-square, ANOVA, percentage. For the qualitative, I've just put in red. So let me just run through this. As I scroll down, I'm sure you're going to see your name. T-test, ANOVA. Excuse me. Percentages, chi-square. You can see. Nizigama Kalist will be doing qualitative as well as quantitative. Simbisi Rene will do percentage, you also do qualitative. So look at this. Look at all of this. Look at this. Allow percentages, qualitative, Clement, Indorisimpa, qualitative, and chi-square. So you can see all of them. You can see this. You can see this. Jafet, Pamphile, qualitative. Yeah, so we have achieved objective number 4, which is to review the proposals for data analysis that you submitted. I'm very proud of you all. You know what you want. You did masters and maybe use of these tools, and this is very, very, very good. So, what's our objective number 5? That's the last one. We are going for practicals now. We have to develop skills in using ICT for data analysis. But before we take on the practical session, let me walk you through some important points that you may wish to note. Yeah, so what are these points? Points relating to data collection and data analysis. There are different types of designs, and they all come with some interesting analysis tools and techniques. You have experiments, you have quasi-experiment. The Americans, we want to pronounce it quasi-experiment. But because I come from a British tradition, I'm calling it quasi-experiment. You have descriptive type of research, which will include surveys and a host of others. You have secondary data analysis. I will go to mention a little bit about this in a minute. And then you have documentary analysis that quite a number of the students in the course we want to do. You have discourse analysis. You have historical comparative methods, archival analysis. Just a few people are going to be doing this. And then you have philosophical analysis. Not many people, or actually none, is doing this in this class, but it's just important to note. We're also going to be having participant observation, ethnography, individual qualitative interview that some of you will be doing, textual analysis, focus group discussion. Now, let's talk about meta-analysis. Meta means big, big, big. If you run into a meta-analysis in your work, in your study, you are very, very lucky. Because what meta-analysis does is to aggregate all previous studies and then use a quantitative procedure, usually called effect size, for summarizing and integrating the findings obtained from literature. It is usually a very good tool that you, or rather, findings if you have meta-analysis that you want to depend upon for your work. I talked about secondary data analysis. So, what are the advantages of secondary data analysis? But by the way, what are secondary data? So, for you, you don't want to go out there to collect the data. But some people over the years have collected data and put these data in a database. So you then go and extract your own for your doctoral study. So what are the advantages? You can see some here. Although I've listed 4 disadvantages, it does not mean in any way that the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. So let's quickly look at it. It saves cost for data collection. You don't now have to go about collecting the data. The data are already there. So it saves the cost, You don't have to spend money, you don't have to do your time, and you obtain data that you may find difficult to get in that database. So what are the disadvantages? The original data that you get from that data set may not be accurate. And all the necessary data may not be available in that database. And then it requires some time for you to search through a data set. But these days, it's not too much of a problem. With a good search engine into a database, you get what you want. And the existing data sets may contain more variables than what the researcher needs. It needs time to sort out. We just mentioned that. What about qualitative data? How do you collect the data? Participant observation, ethnography. You know all of this. Individual interview, textual analysis, focus group discussion. Now, let's look at qualitative and quantitative. What are the major differences? That's what we want to quickly mention here. As I said, I will not be able to go through all of this. Pause the video and replay at your convenience. The qualitative proceeds through an inductive approach, and the questions tend to be exploratory and open-ended, and subjectivity comes in large part, and the analysis deals with meanings, descriptions, values, and characteristics of people and things. And this is not a feature of qualitative research. Widespread, you cannot widely generalize the findings because you are taking maybe 1, 2, or 3 case studies or people and all of that. So generalizability is limited. What about quantitative? Quantitative is deductive. It sees reality that's measurable and is objective. And the researcher controls the process, statistical approaches, identify numbers, it's theory testing. Conclusions drawn follow logically from certain premises. So these are some of the major characteristics of quantitative and qualitative. I have a table here which gives you a summary, more or less, an expanded summary of what I've just said. Find time to look at this table. Now, we talked about quantitative having advantages, qualitative having advantages. What about when we join them together? When you join them together, it's called mixed method. So we're combining the two. So what are the benefits? You know that already. Clarifying and answering more questions from different perspectives. You are getting from the quantitative, you are getting from the qualitative. And it enhances the validity of the findings. And it allows you to cross-check one data set to another. And it provides the details of individual experiences behind the statistics. So you join them in mixed methods to maximize the impact of the two of them. For mixed methods to be successful, issues of sampling, design, data analysis, and data presentation need to be carefully paid attention to. So after this, what I call important points that you should note, let's now get back to the practicals. Now, for the practicals, I'm going to narrow you down to the end of course project. Oh, I've not told you about that. Okay, hang on a minute. I'll just show you what I mean. To pass this course, you've got to do an end of course project. And what is it about? Whether you are doing science, or you are doing law, or you are doing geology, or doing anything, you got to do this project, and then it has to be some part of your doctoral work that you can apply the use of a questionnaire. Now, let me read this very quickly. You have to conduct a study relating to the proposed topic of your doctoral research that will involve the use of a questionnaire. I've just said that. Then what are you supposed to do? You have to develop an online questionnaire to collect data from at least 20 persons. At least 20 persons. So after collecting the 20 persons can be your classmates, your friends, or your students. Then you analyze the data from the questionnaire and report your findings only in percentages and graphs. So you can see that no big statistics there. So only in percentages and graphs. Your final project report should contain the following: your name, the title of the study, your brief introduction, the brief literature review. I've asked you to please let about 70% of the literature you will review to be between 2016 and 2018. I'm sure you know how to do that using Google Scholar. Then, number 5 is your methodology, your sample, your instrument, then your findings. As I said here, show percentages in tables and show them also in graphs. Then number 7, discussion of results. Number 8, recommendations and conclusion. And then number 9, references. So the maximum number of pages that you must submit is 7, not more than 7 pages. So what format? It should be single line spacing, 12 point, any font that you want. The date of final submission is June 15, so you got to submit by the 15th of June. Anyone coming after this will not be accepted. So please submit by June 15 at the latest. Let me let you see this big. Yeah, so June 15 is the deadline that you have to submit this. Yeah, so back to this. I told you the title of the study, brief introduction, up to references. That is what I want you to look at. So let me take those one by one and do some practicals with you. The title of the study, I'm giving you now this as an example. The title of the study will be, for me, Assessment of University of Burundi Doctoral Students of the course ICT in Doctoral Studies, from title to thesis. What's the next topic? Brief introduction. Okay, the brief introduction. For me, I'll just say a little bit about University of Burundi, about the doctoral school, then the need to involve international lecturers from across the globe using e-learning protocols, and then the need to assess the potency, or that, if you like, effectiveness of e-learning in training quality doctoral students. That's what I'm going to have in my introduction. The next thing I want to state will be my research questions. The research questions, I have 4 of them. I'm going to be assessing how the doctoral students in the University of Burundi look at the lessons taught. Their discussion forums, or fora if you like, but I like forums. Their perception or their views of virtual classes, and their perception on test. So the number 2 question, for instance, is how do the students assess the discussion forums during the course of the e-learning delivery process? And the number 4 is how do the students assess the tests administered during the course? The next one is literature review, brief. I've told you that 70% should be 2016. So what will be the subheads under my literature review? Please mind you, This is an example from me. Yours will be different, but just ensure that you have a survey or that will involve use of an online questionnaire relating to your doctoral study. So for literature review, I have a short introduction. I look at theory and practice of e-learning. I look at studies on the use of e-learning in higher education in Africa. They have a summary, and then I have a conclusion. So what's the next? The next item in the project is methodology. So sample, I will describe how I got my 20 students or more or less. I will describe the instrument. I will say I developed an online questionnaire in two sections. Section A, which asked information on this. Section B, which assessed the perception of the students who took the course on the lessons, or the discussion forum, or virtual, just like that. Then procedure for data collection. I would just say that I sent the link to all these students, and they responded, and the data came in. So findings, I have to show percentages in tables and in graphs. So it has to be done research question by research question. So stand by for the practical demonstration. Yeah, there are actually seven steps for data analysis from online questionnaire. So look at this. You'll get a software called Paint from the accessories of your operating system. You can get any other software for graphics in your system, but Paint is available in Windows if you are using a Windows-based operating system, either for Mac or for the PC. You get the Paint, and then you load the completed online questionnaire, and then click on responses. So let me do that and just watch me. I'm putting on I've hit the Windows button here, and it's come with this. So you can just type Paint. You can see Paint has come. Yeah, so just click on Paint. You can see it has loaded Paint. Let me repeat that. Step 1, get a software called Paint from the accessories of your operating system. Step 2, load the completed online questionnaire. Step 3, click on responses. So I'm going to do this again. I've just put my finger on the Windows button, and I just type Paint. So you can see it here. It's a desktop app. You can actually put it on your desktop if you like. Pin it to your taskbar. It's already pinned to my taskbar here, so I don't need to unpin it. So where are you? Okay, that's fine. So that is Paint. Now, next step is for me to load the completed online questionnaire. So where is it? I sent you this questionnaire just like you will send to your other students or colleagues or friends, and you'll get it just the way we did it before. Yeah, so you just maybe just say Google Forms, because you have it in Google Forms. Google Forms. Yep. So it comes like that. Create, analyze, or you just go Forms. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, I don't want a new form. I already have, let's see now. Yeah. So you can see recent forms. This is the one, questionnaire to provide feedback. So look at the process that the procedure asks you to undertake. I said load the completed online questionnaire. So this one is the online questionnaire. I'm loading it now. So you can see it is loading. Yeah, you can see loaded questionnaire to provide feedback on the course ICT in Doctoral Studies from title to thesis. So I've done step number 2. Step number 3, I click on responses. Yeah. Can you see this? Responses. I have 26 people that responded. By the way, I had to close it at some point. So that's why I've only 26 people. So I've asked you to click on responses. You can see I've clicked on responses. If you notice here, it's not longer accepting responses because I asked it not to do. So I've done number 1, loaded paint. I've done number 2, online question. I've clicked on this. So I've asked you to do 2 things. Look at graphs and look at percentages. So let's do graphs. There are 4 steps here, 4 steps. I said scroll one by one to the graphs plotted by Google. So let me scroll. You can see it has plotted this graph. Nice. It has plotted this graph of male and female. It has plotted the graph on those in science and those in humanities. It has plotted the graph of, let me make it bigger for you to see, of those who said yes. Have you had experience in online learning? Yes is 57.7, that's about 58%. About 43% say no. Assessment of the delivery of the lesson, key elements of research process. So you can see it has plotted the graph for you. About 77% said yes, they very much like it. Nobody said they didn't like it. Oh, thank you, class. I'm glad you assessed it positively like that. Then suggestions for improvement. I'll come to this one in a minute because all the suggestions are also listed. Assessment of discussion forum. Yeah, you can see. Say very good here and very poor here. So moving towards very good. Suggestions for improvement. You have the suggestions here. Assessment of virtual class. So you can see, well, I was expecting this because some of you do not come to class. Okay. Suggestions for improvement. You have that. Assessment of the weekly test. So that's it. Suggestions for improvement. You have that. So let's go back to our scroll one by one to the graphs plotted by Google. Have we done that? Yes, we have scrolled one by one. Now, for the next one, for each graph, use the print screen. This button is in all your computers or is for capturing the screen, for screen capture button to capture it on the screen. So where do you find it now? Let me just show you. That's how it is. Let me make this bigger. You got to see a button somewhere on your computer. This button is very important. Anytime you touch this button, it captures the screen. It captures what you have on your screen at that time. So now, for each graph, use this button to capture it on the screen. And then paste what you have captured to paint and trim the part of the graph you wish to extract. Then the last one is copy the extract and paste in MS Word. So let's run through these practicals. Like I told you, the practicals are interesting. Now, let's take the first one. Say one by one. I'm going to do just 2, and let's take the male and female. So this is the screen. So what am I supposed to do? Let me make it slightly smaller so that I can see the sex there. Okay. So I'm supposed to capture this screen. Now, I'm going to hit it. It's not a good thing, but I'm going to hit that button, print screen hard, so I can hear it. You heard it? Yeah. I've captured that screen. So I'm now to go to paint. This is the paint. And then see what I've told you. For each graph, use the print screen button to capture. I've done that. Paste to paint. Control V. If you hold down the control key and press V, it will paste it. And after pasting, you trim the part of the graph you wish to keep. So see what I'm going to do. I'm holding down the control key and pressing V. You can see it has pasted everything there. It has pasted this. So I want to screen. I don't want everything here to show. So if you look at this, select. This one is select. So let me even do something interesting. Let me select this. I'll move here. Let me select this. I'll move here. Excuse me, yeah. And then I will select all of this. After selecting, what they ask you to do to copy, and copy is just Control V, Control C. But you have copied it, and then you go to Word. Let me create another Word document. This is a new Word document, and then you paste it here. You can either do Control, yeah, you can see I pasted it here. It's so nice, so nice. So you don't need to plot the graph at all by yourself. All you need to do is just paint, and then you can resize this as much as you want. So that's one. You can save this file, which you are now going to use in your report, your end of course report. Let's do another one quickly. By the way, let's go to it again. I said scroll one by one to the graphs plotted by Google. For each graph, use this to capture, paste to paint, and copy and trim and all of that. So let's do one more. Where are you here? Okay. So let's do a graph. So let's do this graph. Assessment of lesson. Yeah. So what do I need to do? I'm pressing the print screen button. You had it? Yeah. So this screen is already captured. Then I will go to paint. Okay, this paint. But let's even see the other paint that we had here. So you can just say file new file. You ask whether I want to save this. I don't want to save it. So I paste. Okay, I do Control V, and it has pasted here. So what do we need to do? This is nice. You can take the whole thing just from here. Look at this one here. Select. This is where you select. So you click on it and then select this, like this, and then you copy, and then you go back to your Word document that you are pasting all of this, and then Control V to paste. To paste. Yeah, so you can resize, you can do whatever you like with this. So this is how you copy and paste from, that's part of this data analysis training that you are receiving. Yeah, so what about the interview responses? You know, I asked you to give me suggestions on how the thing can be improved. So how do you do this? Very simple, copy and paste in Word. So let's go back to the result. Suggestions for improvement. Okay, you can see these are the suggestions you gave for improvement. So all you are doing is just copying here, copying everything. Yeah, copy, and then you go back to Word. That's if you are doing the qualitative now, qualitative, and you need this. I'm pasting Control V, but let me just show you. Okay, fine. So you can see I pasted this. So you can use this to be able to describe your result. Need of more than one question. There are no bad responses. Everyone has to be completed by others. Make it interactive. Okay, this is okay. I'm satisfied. Impressive. It seems that the contributions of some students are too long. Better to tell the limit. Okay, we'll look at this. This for the discussion forum, by the way. The forum topic was enriching the light of comments from each other. I agree with you. If I learned a lot from the forum topic. So these are the responses that you gave. So this is quite nice and interesting. So we'll now go to the last one. Now you can get the entire database of the findings, which you then use, you put in a software like SPSS, SAS, or anything for further analysis. So how do you get the database? You click on this thing, you find this thing there, and then create and save the Excel file. So let's go back to here. So this one you have to go to the top like this. Yeah. So you can see this is what I mean. I say click on this one. This is what you're going to click on. When you click on this, create and save the Excel file. So let's go where you here. So this is it. You can see create an Excel file. It's loading. Yeah, so this is the Excel file. You can see you can use this as a database for all manner of statistics. So this is very, very interesting. Now, what do you need to do here? You can now say file. You can download the file. It will give you all manner of options. It will give you as Excel. as open document format, as PDF, as this, as this, as this. I want to encourage you to do the Microsoft Excel. So I've clicked on it. It's downloading. Yeah, okay, so actually opening it. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the Excel file. So this is what we are going to use for other high level statistical analysis and all of that. So you can save this in your computer for further action. Yeah, so back to how the findings. You know, you already have all those graphs in the Microsoft Word document that you prepared. I said you should give the answer research question by research question. So let's even look at those research questions. Let me flip back a little bit. Research questions. Yeah. So let's take the first one. How do University of Burundi doctoral students assess the lessons taught in the ICT course using e-learning protocols? And then you go back to, let's say, the Word document now. Yeah. So we then say, okay, when you are describing the sample, there were 23.1% female, 79, 67, whatever, male. So this is assessment of the lesson. So we're going to say that 78% of 77% of the students in the sample say they like the lesson very much, and none of the students said they didn't like the lesson. So something like that. So that's how you're going to do the research question number one, and you go all the way through, excuse me, to the others. So you're going to do it research question by research question. Let me go to where I was. Yeah, that's it. So you take it research question by research question, and you answer the thing. Then you come to the last, I think about 3 more to go, discussion of results. So for each research question, you state the findings. And then the second thing, you relate it with previous literature. You can say this agrees with the findings of Kuriziza 2617 or Shabani 2018 or Emanuela whatever or Ramadan or disagrees with the findings of Richard. Then you have to explain your findings. Now, in explaining your findings, you will find the comments of the students very helpful in this regard. Then you provide your recommendations. Recommendations can also come from the recommendations from the students, and then you provide the conclusion, and then references, and then you have the appendix. So, what did we learn in this lesson? In this lesson, we stated the importance of data analysis in doctoral studies. We listed the types of data analysis, and we describe the role of ICT, and we review the proposals from this class, and we develop practicals in this thing. Until next lesson, ladies and gentlemen, it is bye for now from me, Peter Okebukola, your facilitator. I can be reached on this email. I can be reached on this number. So thank you all very much, and bye-bye.